Hi everyone, this is Anuj Gupta. I'm Senior Product Manager on Amazon A2I. And in this webinar, we will be discussing the product overview and a demo for Amazon Augmented AI, or in short, we refer it to Amazon A2I. And we are fortunate to have with us DealNet Capital to share their use case with A2I. And Matt, who is CTO at DealNet, will be talking about the use case at DealNet as well and how they are leveraging AWS technologies for their document processing use cases. At AWS, our mission is to put machine learning in hands of every developer. And AWS has a very wide and depth stack of AI and ML services. This includes AI services that you see at the top, like Amazon Textract, Amazon Recognition, which are our computer vision services. There are text-based services, Amazon Comprehend. There are personalization services and a bunch of other services. In the middle layer, you will see Amazon also provides ML services, Amazon SageMaker, where you can essentially build, train, and deploy your own custom machine learning models. And at the very bottom, you will also see ML frameworks and infrastructure. For more depth, you can definitely leverage some of these capabilities as well. In today's session, we will be covering specifically Amazon A2I, which provides human reviews for your machine learning workflows. We will be talking about what is the current state when it comes to ML and humans working together. What are different use cases where people want to use ML and humans together? We will talk about A2I. We will go over some customer examples and how different customers are using A2I. And then we will also cover a live demo. Let's talk about the current state. So customers currently infuse machine learning in a lot of different applications, and rightfully so, because machine learning handles a lot of use cases with very high speed and low costs. But at the end of the day, machine learning models, most of the machine learning models give a probabilistic output. So for example, an ML model will tell you it's 80% confident whether a dog is present in this photo or not. It's not going to tell you a yes or a no answer in most scenarios. It's going to give a confidence threshold or a probability score along with its output. And the low confidence machine learning results often need to be reviewed by humans. Customers have been telling us that they are forced to choose between either machine learning only workflows or human only workflows, and they are not able to enjoy the benefits of both the workflows together. Customers want to use ML for high speed and low cost. And at the same time, in the same workflow, they want to use humans for their intelligence where it's truly needed. And this is being applicable across a lot of different use cases. Customers have been using A2I or in general ML plus humans across a lot of document processing use cases, which includes loan processing, prescription processing, invoice processing, or any other kind of mortgage processing or any other kind of document you can think of. It is also very helpful across a lot of user-generated content moderation, where customers want to make sure their platforms are secure for their end users, and they want to use machine learning to take a first pass at any of the content that's uploaded by their users, and then invoke human intelligence to go through some of the more nuanced use cases. Um, it's similarly applicable across a lot of media analysis, subtitle generation, transcription use cases, sentiment analysis, and any other use cases that you can think of where ML is essentially being used in a critical business workflow. Digging a bit deeper, for document processing, just going into an example, let's say you are processing or any customer is processing invoice documents. From those invoice documents, they want supplier number to be extracted because based on that number, they want to do downstream payments. In this kind of a scenario, customers want supplier number to be extracted using machine learning and humans with a very high accuracy, because in case even a single digit of the supplier number is incorrect, the downstream processing might happen incorrectly or it might result delays in the customer workflow. Similarly, social security number, which is a tax identification number based in US, that would need to be highly accurate whenever there is kind of a loan processing or any mortgage processing application use cases. Similarly, for other locales, this could be another kind of a tax identification or individual identification number. Another very common use case that we see from our customers is model accuracy monitoring. Customers want to make sure they know in detail how their models are performing. And to do that, one of the mechanisms they use is they randomly send 10 or 20% or any other X percentage of model inferences through human review. And after that, they compare the human output to the machine learning output to calculate machine learning metrics like precision, recall, accuracy. And this gives customers the ability to provide human oversight to their models and build internal and external trust on their ML workflows. And this is very critical in some of the sensitive workloads or some of the sensitive industries, including healthcare, financial, legal, or any other kind of sensitive workflows. This also helps customers identify any deviations that might be happening on the input data because machine learning low confidence results can automatically be routed through a human review. Along with this customer feedback on where humans and ML come together, we have also been hearing from customers that combining these two things in the same workflow is inherently hard. Uh, there is a need for a diverse talent pool. You need machine learning scientists, engineering teams, and operations teams to manage a large number of reviewers and to write the custom software to manage these kind of review tasks. And even if customers are doing this, they are finding that it's difficult to achieve high accuracy. Listening on this customer feedback, we introduced Amazon Augmented AI. We launched A2I at reInvent 2019 in preview mode, and the service went in general availability in April 2020. A2I can help you easily implement human review of machine learning predictions. Let's look at some of the key benefits for A2I. So we already saw it can easily help you easily implement human review workflows, and we will be seeing this in a live demo as well. The second one over here is it can help you reduce time to market for your machine learning models. And there are multiple fundamental reasons for that. First, Amazon A2I is already pre-integrated with some of the AWS AI services like Amazon Recognition and Amazon Textract, which makes it very easy to use human reviews in your existing machine learning workflows. Secondly, A2I provides over 60 different pre-built templates. These are the worker UI templates that you can use for multiple use cases out of the box. Or you can also customize them using these pre-built templates as a starting point. And the third reason that we hear from customers from a time to market perspective is something more fundamental. Customers tell us that knowing that there's a human backstop or a human oversight available for their machine learning models makes them put their ML models into production really quickly. They don't have to wait for long cycles to perfect their ML models, and they know that any low confidence results will be captured by human, which can then also be used as a training data for the next iteration of model retraining. A2I not only provides you the software and the technology to do these human review workflows, but there are also multiple workforce options that A2I provides, and we will be touching upon that in a bit. With A2I, you can invoke human reviews in any custom machine learning model. In case you want to use Amazon A2I with services like Amazon Comprehend, Amazon Translate, Amazon Transcribe, or any other AWS AI service, or even if you have your own custom machine learning models hosted directly on Amazon SageMaker or EC2, you can still use A2I for the human review workforce piece of the workflow. And then lastly, we have done a lot of work to help you get increased worker efficiency. The UI templates that we have created help workers do their tasks really quickly, and we will be getting into more detail on this in a demo as well. So what are the different human review workforce options that you get with Amazon A2I? The first option is Amazon Mechanical Turk. It's an on-demand 24/7 workforce of over 500,000 independent contractors worldwide. We tend to see results from this workforce in a matter of few minutes to a few hours, depending on the use case. And you can get a very global, diverse opinion on your workflows from this workforce because it's globally distributed workforce. Now, in case you have any PII or sensitive data, that's where the private and the vendor workforce comes in. So private workforce, which is a second workforce option over here, means that you can bring your own employees or your own set of people who are doing these human review tasks onto the A2I service. You can directly add these people for human review workflows by just entering their email addresses, or you can do something more advanced capabilities like Active Directory integration or Cognito user pool integration. The third option you have is Amazon A2I vendors. So these are the vendors where Amazon A2I team has gone and sourced these vendors from different locations. These vendors are very well equipped to handle any of the PII or sensitive workloads, and these are SOC 2 compliant vendors. Another good thing with these vendors, vendor workforce, is that these are the vendors who can handle your elastic workloads. So for example, if you have your workloads increasing for human review workflows, let's say in January, and then the workflow decreases in February, you can very well use these vendors with these kind of elastic workloads. Another benefit that comes with vendors is you don't have to worry about any of the logistic overhead that comes with finding any vendor. So you don't have to figure out any specific invoicing mechanism. You don't have to do any specific NDAs or contracts or legal terms with these vendors. And you don't have to worry about any of the billing things. AWS has taken care of all of those things, and you can just start using these vendors by a few clicks on our console. Let's look a bit deeper into how Amazon A2I essentially works. So the first thing is your client application or you as a customer essentially sends input data. This could be a document that you want to extract some data from. This could be an image. This could be a video. This could be a paragraph of text or any other kind of data that you are dealing with. You send this data to Amazon AI service or any of your custom machine learning models. After that, this machine learning model or AWS AI service will make a prediction. And the prediction could either be a high confidence prediction or it could be a low confidence prediction. And this differentiation between high confidence versus low confidence is completely up to you and your business use case. You have full flexibility in defining what is a high confidence prediction for you versus what is a low confidence for you as per your business use cases. In case it's a low confidence prediction, you can automatically trigger an Amazon A2I workflow where the low confidence data or the low confidence output of ML model is automatically sent to the right set of people. These people are shown the right UI, they are shown the right data. They can work on these human review tasks. These answers are consolidated by A2I and they are stored back in your S3 bucket. And you're also sent a CloudWatch event telling you when the human reviewed results are completed so that you can then use these results in your downstream client application as you want. Now, how to use A2I? It's very straightforward. It's a two-step process. So the first step is you define an A2I human review workflow settings. Think of this as an initial configuration for any Amazon A2I queue. In this, you define when to trigger a human review. What are those business logic conditions based on which you want to trigger a human review? Who are the people who should be seeing this review? And what should humans essentially see? What does that worker interface or UI look like? Once you have done this initial setup, the next step is just to start using A2I in your existing API calls. You can use A2I directly with Amazon Recognition and Amazon Textract. And what that means is you can just pass in an additional parameter in your recognition or Textract API calls And recognition and extract will automatically invoke A2I workflow in the background, and you don't even need to invoke Amazon A2I APIs directly. A2I is directly integrated with Sync APIs for extract and recognition, so you get to know in real time whether a human review was needed or not. And then you can use Amazon A2I's public APIs directly with your any custom machine learning model. There are different types of conditions you can set with these close integrations of Amazon Extract and Amazon Recognition. So the first condition is you can say, in case Amazon Extract finds any of the key value pairs below a certain confidence, you can trigger a human review. You can also define some important keys in your documents where you say, in case adjusted gross income, just as an example over here, is not found by Amazon Extract, let's say because of a bad quality scan, you can still trigger a human review and get that data for your downstream processing from a human review perspective. And then you can also send a random sample of 10% or 20% of your documents through a human review for model monitoring use cases. So just as an example at a high level, and this is something we will be seeing in the live demo as well. So let's say in this example, the model confidence was below 80% because of this cursive handwriting and this difficult to identify whether this is Jane Doe or JAUE Doe. In this scenario, you can automatically trigger an A2I workflow. So let's say the machine learning model over here identified it as JAUE Doe. A worker can then come in and correct it to Jane Doe. And this data will be available in your S3 bucket after the human review is completed for your downstream processing. Let's look at Amazon recognition conditions. You can define a single confidence threshold for all of the labels that you get from Amazon recognition. You can define a specific confidence threshold for each of the moderation labels. So you can say, I want, let's say, nudity between range X and Y, and I want, let's say, violence detection to be present between range A and B. And based on that, you can trigger a human review as per your business use cases. And then there's also a capability to do random sampling, similar to what we talked about in the other use cases. This is again a pre-built UI for image analysis kind of use cases. This is one of the 60 templates that we provide out of the box. Over here, you can just directly show the worker the image, and the worker then can select whether it's safe or unsafe or any other category on the right-hand side. How to use Amazon A2I with any machine learning model. So you can use Amazon A2I with your own custom models hosted on Amazon SageMaker or any of the other AWS AI services as well. The key thing over here is you have the flexibility of defining the business logic of when to trigger a human review, which is step number 2 shown over here. So in your pipeline or in your workflow, essentially, you can decide whether you need a human review through a simple if-else statement, or you can do something more advanced like a dynamic Lambda function. And whenever you decide that you need a human review, you can directly call A2I's public API, which is called A2I.startHumanLoop API. To recap, some of the benefits or some of the additional benefits of A2I are it's a fully managed service. We expect increased accuracy and lower costs in customers' workflow with a mix of ML and humans in the same workflow. There are a lot of pre-built integrations available, and we have actually done a lot of blogs on how to use Amazon A2I with Amazon Translate, Amazon SageMaker, Amazon Textract, and we are continuously adding more blogs for our customers. And then there are over 60 pre-built templates. I will be showing that on the GitHub as well. And then there is support for custom machine learning models. So wherever you need a human review in your pipeline, all you need to do is just call A2I.startHumanLoop API, and A2I takes care of the rest. Talking a bit about some of the customer use cases. So One customer we worked with is T-Mobile. It's a major carrier in United States. They have over 80 million subscribers, and they are using Amazon A2I to continuously monitor their models and build trust on their machine learning models internally and with the stakeholders outside their core team. Another customer we have been working with is National Health Services in UK. National Health Services processes 54 million prescriptions per month for UK citizens, and they extract data from these paper prescriptions and make the right pharmacy payments and make sure the citizens can get their medicines and any other things on time. It's a very critical use case for NHS. And they have been using and exploring Amazon Textract combined with Amazon A2I to extract data from these prescriptions. And they also want to use A2I for the human oversight, given it's a sensitive medical use case. The next one is Deloitte. Deloitte has been using Amazon A2I for insurance claims processing. So they want to extract data from the insurance claim documents. And also they are using A2I for image analysis, where they have a machine learning model that can identify how much of a damage is present in a car for any of the insurance claim application that comes to their customers. And then once the damage is detected by a machine learning model, a human is brought in to verify the damage or adjust any of the model's output as needed before the claim is processed further. Belfiore, it's an Amazon A2I partner as well, and they have been helping their customers for multiple document processing use cases. Dealnet is another customer, and we will have an opportunity to hear more from Dealnet in our online webinar as well. Matt will be talking more about it in his webinar, but Dealnet has been able to save the time spent on reviewing their documents by up to 80%. Vidmob is another customer we were fortunate enough to work with. They are a creative agency based out of New York and a bunch of other places. They were able to use A2I for human review for the ads for their customers. They were trying to extract some of the more nuanced data from advertising videos, like is this a testimonial video or is this a tutorial video? Does this video contain humor or does it not? They were able to get 90% efficiencies when they were using Amazon A2I and the machine learning together in the same workflow. And they actually did a talk with us at reInvent 2019, for which the YouTube video is already available online. This customer was also able to increase the speed of their models to market by 3x. So they saw a huge improvement in pushing their machine learning models to production. Ripcord is another customer. They were trying to extract data from multiple types of documents in their use cases, and they have shared more details about their use cases and how they were leveraging A2I in reInvent 2019 talk with us, which is available on YouTube. Getting started is really easy. You can directly go to Amazon A2I console, click on the Create Human Review Workflow button to do your settings for the human review workflow. From a pricing perspective, you're only charged for the objects that need a human review. So for example, you are sending 100 documents through the machine learning pipeline. Out of those, only 10 documents were low confidence results, and only those 10 documents need to be sent for a human review. You will only be charged for those 10 documents from an A2I perspective. You will not be charged for those 90 other documents where A2I still did the evaluation and told you that these documents do not need a human review. So you're essentially only charged for the objects that do need a human review. Amazon A2I is generally available in 12 AWS regions, multiple regions across Americas, APAC, and EMEA. We have a lot of getting started resources. So the first one is a resources page on Amazon A2I website. This is a page we continuously update for more and more resources as well. This page contains multiple sample Jupyter notebooks, which you can directly run in your SageMaker instance. These notebooks contain sample code for using Amazon A2I with Amazon Comprehend, Amazon SageMaker, Amazon Recognition, Amazon TextTract, and we are continuously adding more services to this page as well. This page also contains some of the video demos and the talks with vidmob and Ripcord for the document processing use cases and other use cases. And this also contains multiple blogs or the getting started code that we have put out there for our customers to use. It's a very good website that customers tell us that is useful for getting started. Would highly recommend checking it out. And there are some other direct links over here. I do want to talk about the number 5 over here. This contains over 60 and 70 different templates that you can use for different use cases. So do check out this GitHub. With that, we will switch over to the demo piece. So let's jump into Amazon A2I demo. You can go to the Amazon A2I console by directly searching Augmented AI or A2I on your AWS console. You can click on this orange button on the right to create a human review workflow. When you create a human review workflow, you can provide some workflow settings like what is the name, what is the S3 bucket where you want the human reviewed results to be stored, what is the IAM role that you want to provide. The next thing after you do the settings is task types. So we have provided some pre-configuration for some of the task types. For others, you can directly use custom. So for example, if I select Amazon TextTract as my task type over here, and I scroll down, you see the section for setting up the business conditions for your human review workflow. There are multiple types of conditions present with this integration. The first is you can define the important keys that you want to extract from your document. And you can say in case this key is found with a low confidence, or this key is not found by Amazon TextTract at all, you want this key to be reviewed by a human. You can also specify the confidence threshold. For demo purposes, I'm just going to put 99 over here. You can also add multiple keys in case you are trying to extract multiple data fields from your documents. Next, you can also specify a blanket condition for your documents where you say anything that is found by TextTract to be lower than 99% threshold or confidence interval, I want a human review. And that's what the second condition over here means. The third condition you can set up is random sampling, where you can define directly a percentage. Let's say I want 5% of my documents to be going for human review. I can directly set 5% over here. Now, just a quick call out, these are only the default conditions that are supported. In case you want to do something more advanced, you can still do that and directly call Amazon A2I after you evaluate your more advanced conditions. The next thing is the worker task template. So this is basically what is the UI you want your workers to see when they come for doing these human review tasks. We have already created default templates for a lot of different integrations, but you can also use your own templates in case that's important to you. Over here on the GitHub, let me quickly show over here. We have already put over 60 and 70 different templates over here. So you can choose from any of the template for audio use cases in case you want that. Or you can, if you have like some text-based use cases like text emotion detection, entity recognition, quality, text classification, or similarly for video or any other use case. Let's go back to the console. Along with selecting the template, you can also define what are the instructions you want to provide to your workers. We have put in a default set of instructions over here, but you can always modify them as per your business use cases. This is what you see, what you get editor. So you can directly just say, this is a sample instruction, and this is what your workers will see. Or in case you want, you can also embed some links and images over here. Moving down from a configuration perspective, the next step is to select your workforce. So as we discussed, there are three options: Amazon Mechanical Turk. If you are choosing Amazon Mechanical Turk, you can also select how much is the price you want to pay to the Amazon Mechanical Turk workers per task. You have complete flexibility in choosing from a different range of prices. So let's say I'm just going to select this price. Also, we do not recommend sending any PII or sensitive data with this workforce. The next option you can choose is a private workforce. With private workforce, you can bring your own set of employees or your own people on the A2I platform. You can create multiple work teams, and you can select from any of the work teams that you want. Creating a work team is as simple as entering people's email addresses, or if you already have an Active Directory integration, you can use that as well. The next option is a vendor workforce. You can directly go to the AWS marketplace to see what are the different vendors available with A2I. You can review the details about any of the vendors by clicking on their link. You can see their pricing information and some other details as well on this page. And once you want to use this vendor, you can just directly click on continue to subscribe, and you can directly start using this vendor in your A2I workflows. Now, all of this setup can also be done through Amazon A2I APIs. Once you do this setup, you will get the workflow on, which you can directly start using in your API or anywhere in your workflows. Now, to do that, I have actually done the setup through a Jupyter Notebook instance running in my SageMaker Notebook instances. So let's get a bit deeper into how you can actually get the demo up and going. So these are directly the notebooks that are available on Amazon A2I GitHub page as well. So if I go to this page, this is the public available GitHub page for Amazon A2I sample Jupyter notebooks. And you can see there are multiple available notebooks over here for different use cases. You can pick any of this notebook to start as per your use cases. So let's go back to this notebook instance. I will be doing two quick demos, one with Amazon Textract and another one with Amazon Comprehend. So let's open up the Amazon Textract notebook. And you will notice all I'm doing in this notebook is just press run. So we have already created the code that you need and all the setup that you need to run this demo. The only two things you will need to do in this demo is create your private work team and replace the work team on in this notebook. And then the second thing, you will need to create an S3 bucket where you want the human reviewed results to be stored. I have already done those steps beforehand, so I will just be pressing run as we go through this notebook. So let's do this initial setup. Just from this notebook perspective, you do not need this much of code to actually run A2I, but we have created this sample notebook with all these codes and API calls so that you can get to know how to use A2I using these API calls and use it in your applications or your use cases as needed. So this is the document we will be using for Amazon Textract use case. I will be extracting 4 fields from this document: full name, phone number, home address, and mail address. So let's run this document through Amazon Textract first. I am also setting up some certain business conditions for this Textract analyze document API call. And the business conditions I have set up are in such a way that this document goes for a human review for the demo purposes. So Textract gives me the result back in real time. And at the same time, towards the end of the Textract result, you also get to know whether a human review was triggered or not. And we also give you back the ARN for the human loop as it was triggered. So we see that a human loop has been created. A human loop is an individual piece of task that your workers will be working on. So let's go to the worker portal website. This website is managed and hosted by A2I, and you control who signs in into this website at any time. So let's say start working. This is a pre-built UI for Amazon Textract integration that I see over here. On the left-hand side, I see the instructions, which is completely customizable. In the middle, I see the document, and on the right-hand side, I see the data that needs to be extracted from this document. Now let's talk a bit about the worker efficiency. You will see that phone number, home address, and full name are automatically filled in using the output or the text that was determined by Amazon Textract. So in this scenario, the worker does not have to extract every piece of data from this document, and you are able to efficiently use this mix of ML plus humans working together. I, as a worker, can quickly review everything looks good to me, so these three fields are good. Now, when I was doing the setup, I had also specified that mail address is an important field for me in this document. Because it's a bad quality scan, it's blurred out and it's crossed out, Amazon Textract was not able to detect this 234 Main Street as a key value pair in this document. And this could be very true with real life documents where there could be a bad quality scan or coffee spills on the documents, or it could be bad handwriting and other details. So I, as a worker, can quickly enter the mailing address over here as 234 Main Street, any town, USA. Everything else looks good to me, so I will submit this task. Now, as this task is submitted, the results of this work are already stored in your S3 bucket. We store the results back in your S3 bucket. And we also send a CloudWatch event telling you that the work has now been completed. So these are just some of the conditions that I had set up for this demo. You can also specify what are the different variations in which a mail address could appear on a document. You can specify mail address colon, mailing ADD, mailing addresses, and we all know that the same field can appear by different names on different documents. So this feature comes really handy for our customers. Now, if we scroll down, we will see that there is a human loop over here. It has been completed because I just did the work over here. And let's go to the output location and see what does output look like over here. So I will open up this output JSON file. I will put it in an easy readable format using an online JSON parser. Let's look at this output in a bit more detail. So the first thing you will see in this output is this human answers. This human answers are the human reviewed results that have been stored back in your S3 bucket. This shows one over here because in this demo, it was sent to only one worker, but you can obviously send it to more than one people in case you want a higher accuracy or in case you want your data to be reviewed by multiple people. You will see that data from Amazon A2I human review is stored in a standard JSON format. And this format matches exactly how Amazon Textract sends you back the results so that you can use the same parsing mechanisms that you're already using with Amazon Textract. Now I see over here that here is the data that I pre-filled over here as a worker, which is 234 Main Street, Anytown, USA. And this data can be used in your downstream processing as needed. Let's look at some of the other elements of this output JSON file. We also tell you in the same location what was the request that was sent to the AI service so that you have the input and the output in the same location. What was the Textract's response or what was the AI service's response in this? What were the exact conditions that were triggered because of which this was even sent for a human that you can use for auditing purposes? So it says, for example, this condition was evaluated to be true. And then we also show you the selected AI response, which was shown to the worker. This completes our Textract demo. Let's switch over to the next demo, which is how to use Amazon A2I and Amazon Comprehend for sentiment analysis use cases. So let me open up my second notebook over here. So in this notebook, I will be showing you how to use Amazon A2I with Amazon Comprehend. This is a pre-built notebook that we have created for demo purposes or for quick POCs for our customers. And it's already available on public GitHub page over here. So if you just search for Amazon A2I sample notebooks under AWS samples on GitHub, you can find this page. And this is the notebook that we will be walking through today. There will be two prerequisites that you will need to do in this notebook. Details are already in this notebook, but just to quickly call them out, you will need to create a work team, which is a set of people who will be doing these human reviews. And second, you will need to create an S3 output location where you want the human reviewed results to be stored. I have already done those prerequisites, so let me just walk through this notebook and you will notice all I will be doing in this notebook is just pressing run. Now this notebook contains a lot of code. You actually do not need this much of code to use A2I. We have put in different Amazon A2I API calls over here so that you have samples to learn more about A2I or you know how to use A2I in your API calls directly. So we are doing the setup. So in this notebook or in this demo, I will be using Amazon Comprehend to detect the sentiment for, let's say, 4 customer reviews that I got on my product. And these 4 reviews are, I enjoy this product, I'm unhappy with this product, it is okay, or sometimes it works. This could be any other customer review that you are getting or any other text where you are trying to do sentiment analysis. For my business use case for this demo, I have set the sentiment score threshold as 0.99. And essentially with these few lines of code, I'm saying that in case the threshold is below 0.99, as given by Amazon Comprehend, I want a human to come in and have a look at that data. And in case it's over 99 or 0.99, I don't want a human loop. And this is how essentially you can use Amazon A2I anywhere in your machine learning workflows or any other pipeline that you have. So let's run Amazon Amazon Comprehend over here. We see that once Amazon Comprehend processes this all 4 blurbs, for the first 2, the confidence score was above 0.99, which was above the threshold I had set up. So no human loop is created. For the 2 sentences or for the 2 reviews, the confidence was below 0.99 and automatically you will see a human loop has been created. Now let's see how can the workers work on these human reviews. So let's go to this website. This is an A2I hosted website, something we call as a worker portal. And you completely control who can log in and access these reviews over here. So I will just press start working. This is just one of the sample UIs that we have created for our customers. There are over 70 different templates available. That's also available on GitHub over here. So let's go back to the worker portal and see how I can do the work. On the left-hand side, you will see instructions that are completely customizable. On the right-hand side, you will see what is the work that I need to do as a worker. And in the middle, we see what is that line or paragraph of text that needs to be reviewed. So Amazon Comprehend thought it was positive. For, let's say, just for demo purposes, I'm going to change this as mixed, and I'm going to submit this work. Similarly, for the second sentence, also, I'm going to change this as mixed, and I'm going to submit the work. Now, as the work is done, essentially, the results are stored back in your S3 bucket. So here, if I go to my Amazon Augmented AI console, I can see this is the human review workflow that I just created as a part of the demo. I can see some of the settings associated with this review workflow, like what is the workforce I'm using, what are the different templates I'm using, what was the description, and what exactly is the task this is doing. Over here, if I come, I can see the output location as well, where the results will be stored. Okay, now I see over here that I have completed the human review for these 2 human loops that were created. I see the status is completed and the results are automatically stored in my S3 bucket. I go over here, I can see the details of each individual human loop and the results where these are stored. So let's go to the S3 output location and open up this output file. Now, this output is essentially a JSON output. You can define the structure of the output and the input as per your business use cases. Over here, you will see what is the output I got after I completed this sentiment analysis task. A few things over here, you will see the first thing is human answers. You see one over here because this was worked upon by only one person, which is me. With A2I, you can also send your objects for review to multiple people in case you want higher accuracy or in case you want to get consensus from multiple people on the same task. You will see the answer content, the sentiment is mixed, which is what I selected in the worker UI. Along with that, we also send back the initial value in the task object, which was the input content that you sent to A2I, so that you have the input and the human output in the same file, and you don't have to find it in different places. Now, you can also use this output essentially to retrain any of your custom machine learning models as you want at a regular frequency. Let's quickly look at what is the content you can directly use for your Amazon A2I or human review workflows. And we are continuously adding more to these content, so feel free to check back the website as well. So we have done this blog on Amazon Textract and A2I, which walks you step by step how you can use Amazon A2I and Amazon Textract for processing your critical documents. Another one is how you can use Amazon Translate and Amazon Augmented AI for any of your translation needs. We also have a blog on how you can use Amazon A2I with Amazon SageMaker through an example of object detection use case, and essentially how you can retrain your model at a regular frequency using the A2I output. We also have another blog on how you can use Amazon SageMaker and Amazon A2I for tabular data, which is something we have seen being very helpful in financial, healthcare, and many other industries. All of these resources that I'm showing are listed on our website. You can come to Amazon A2I website and directly go to resources page. These resources are listed on this page. You can also see more resources like help documentation, video presentations, sample notebooks, and some of our blogs as well. In case you have any questions or need to reach out, please feel free to drop us a note on Amazon A2I forums under AWS forums, and we will be happy to help you. With that, I would like to pass over to Matt to tell us about how DealNet is using Amazon A2I in their workflows.
Well, thanks very much, Anush. I'm excited to share how we're leveraging Amazon A2I, Textract, and Recognition to fundamentally alter how we validate our customer-submitted financial documents. The use of Amazon AI services enables us to reduce the time spent validating customer financial documents by up to 80%. Before I get into our use case specifically, I just wanted to spend some time talking about who we are. So DealNet Capital is a public company based out of Toronto, Canada. We own and operate a brand called EcoHome Financial, which is a leading provider of home improvement financing solutions. We offer consumer loans and leases delivered through the contractors that perform the work in customers' homes. Our technology platform offers a simple way for contractors to have consumers approved for home improvement loans and leases through EcoHome. Once the work is completed in the home, which could be anything from a new roof, an air conditioner, a furnace, the contractor and the consumer submit to us funding documents that we need to approve and ultimately sign off on for the funding of the loan or the lease that we issue to the consumer. These documents include legal contracts with the consumer, project invoices, and certificates of completion. When you're dealing with documents that have an unstructured variety, there may be contracts that have handwritten components and machine type components. It becomes a challenge to validate them at scale. So previous to working with any of the Amazon tool set for this function, we had a quick way of offering customers credit approvals, but when it actually came to the back office process of validating the documents, the whole process was entirely manual. And so what the Amazon tools that allowed us to take advantage of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and really to put the cherry on the cake is having that ability to validate the models with humans in the loop with Amazon A2I. The DealNet dealer portal is where we receive all of our new credit applications from all of our consumers and dealers. It's an industry-leading technology platform that's built and running on AWS. This is where we receive all of our new lease and loan applications. It's a responsive web application that allows a home improvement contractor who's doing work in the home for a consumer to get that consumer credit approved for a loan or lease through DealNet. And it can happen very quickly with a few simple steps, scanning the consumer's identity documents, which populates a loan or lease application. And within seconds, we actually receive a credit decision from our backend system to issue a loan approval or a lease approval to a consumer. From there, this is the challenge. After you get the credit approval, now it comes time for the contractor to submit a package of funding documents. And this is where Amazon A2I, Textract, and Recognition come into the picture. So as a customer's post-approval for credit, the clients are submitting multiple mandatory funding documents to us for validation. We need to ensure that they meet our compliance standards, any legal requirements, and our lending standards to get funded. And before we actually had Amazon in the picture, we were doing this all manually with a workforce. So we needed to find a solution that allowed us to validate documents at scale, to improve our service levels as we grow, to reduce costs, and ultimately have a higher standard of accuracy in our audits. So implementing Amazon Augmented A2I is a really amazing feature for our business. It allows us to ensure that the machine learning output through Textract is being validated by humans, but it's also reducing the amount of time that we spend auditing documents, which is not a value-added task for our business. So if I jump into our actual use case, the first step in our flow is trying to extract value from our various documents in the process. And later on, I'll show an example of a consumer loan agreement that's being validated through the A2I workflow. As these funding documents are submitted for us by our clients post credit approval, we then send them to Amazon Textract. And the great thing about Textract is that as a parameter of using Textract, you can also create a human in the loop job with A2I in the same call. So it's very simple to implement, and the other benefit here is that it extracts the key and pair values on the documents, of which most of our documents have. So you're very easily able to extract the key and pair values of all your key documents and measure them against the expected results. So as we receive our new loan and lease applications electronically, we have a validation data set in the back end of our core systems that we can compare the document results against. So it quickly allows us to, instead of asking an auditor to review the entire document, we can send it to Textract, extract the values, those values that are high enough confidence score where there's a match to the validation data set, we can actually auto-validate in the system, and we don't have to rely on a person to go through all of those manual steps anymore. But even when there are exceptions to the rule, dealing with many documents that are being generated in the field in customers' homes, you see a mixed bag of document types where people are still signing their signature by hand, but maybe the rest of the contract is being populated by machine type. So with those unstructured data sets, it's harder to get validation in 100% automated fashion, but you can actually get to a much higher result of automation. Plus, you can ensure that even those exceptions are being handled in a much more efficient way through A2I. So once we receive the extracted document values successfully through Textract, and we compare them against our validation data set to ensure that they meet our expected results, we then take certain components of documents, such as the signatures, and we also need to validate those through a separate process that we've used through Amazon Recognition. So we've extracted those key pair values on a document like a contract, a legal agreement, and then we send them to Recognition to validate. So Recognition does an amazing job of taking the image that we have from the contract of a signature and giving us a confidence score of the accuracy of that signature. And then we can have further validation that yes, our legal document, which requires a signature, has been signed to our satisfaction. So those two combinations, text extract and recognition paired with this workflow, fundamentally changes the way that we audit our financial documents submitted by customers. And it's a step change in the service levels that we can offer to our end customers and the cost structure that we would have as you scale volume with your business. So if I look at after we've extracted the key components of all of our documents, we've compared them against the expected results that we have in our electronic applications. If we find a mismatch to the expected result data set and the extracted document data set that we get through text extract, we can flag these key values to our manual review workforce. And in this case, through A2I service, we're using our private workforce, which is our own employees. And we send these documents to different document queues by document type. And what we've done is instead, we've taken the default templates that the Amazon team has built, of which there are about 70, and we've started with an audit template as the basis, and then we've customized that basic template to meet our custom needs for that workflow, which is great to have the flexibility. We can take our custom UI template using JavaScript and update it to be exactly the business process that we want for our users. And we can capture any sort of workflow that's required based on the document type that is going through the workflow. And some document types are going to have different business rules than others. So it's very great to have that flexibility. And the goal that we wanted to have was to make it as easy and generic as possible for anyone on our team to validate any type of document with ease. And so instead of needing to know anything about the business rules of our documents or whether something is compliant or not, all the heavy lifting is done through the system. And then you're literally being asked as a validator of documents. Most of the time it's a yes or no question. You know, does this contract state $5,000, yes or no? And the other benefit of having the key pair values is that you can designate a bounding box around the field value so that the auditor is not spending time scrolling through large documents to identify which field you're referring to. You can easily send those bounding box coordinates to the UI front end and have the user key in on exactly what they're looking at to validate. So it really does speed up even the manual review workflows. And then this also has a great tool to send data on reporting. So if you're looking at who is validating documents, when they're validating documents, you can find all of that data out and get a sense of your throughput on your processes. So are you meeting your SLAs? Are you able to get through the number of documents you would expect your workers to get through on a given day, and scale up and down as needed? If your clients are giving you more volume, you can scale up your workforce, scale down your workforce. You can also see the value of the system, what percentage of your documents are being validated by text extract without any human intervention, or if there is fields that are troublesome or customers who are constantly giving you, let's say, poor quality paperwork, it really gives you the ability to hone in on those areas and make improvements in the workflow. So if I move to what our implementation of the custom workflow is, you can see here, this is one of our consumer credit applications and loan agreements. This is a standard legal document that defines everything we would need to fund a new loan and bill a customer for a new loan and lease over time for a home improvement project. So you can see here we've implemented a breadcrumb trail at the top that will just allow you to the validator to see the steps that they're about to go through and get to the end very quickly and easily. First, we try to classify the document, ensure that it's the right type. So we ask the validator very simply, yes or no, is this the right document type? In this case, is it a loan agreement? Yes. Then it will move into specific fields that are of value to us and that are critical fields for validation. And in our case, some of these are extremely critical, where the address must be the place where the job was done. So we like to validate things like addresses with our people to validate the outcomes of the machine learning. And it's a very simple workflow. So if you talk to the auditors who in the past were manually opening up PDF files on their computer and literally comparing that to the scanned output of a paper document and trying to compare visually with their eyes, It's a far faster and more enjoyable workflow. So it just makes for better efficiency, and we're very excited with getting started on this path. The next component of the document, which is equally important for us, is the actual loan disclosure. So in this case, anything that is a discrepancy between our expected data set that were submitted to us through our dealer application electronically and what is actually contained on the contract, if there's anything that's flagged, if there's a low confidence score from Textract and we're not seeing a match in the value that we would need to see on something like an APR calculation, we can then very simply flag that for review by a human. And instead of asking them, an APR calculation is not something you would expect anyone to be able to perform easily. All that's done through the system, through the back end. So everyone can see what's the expected value and just visually tell us, is it a yes or is it a no on that value? So that makes the workflow very simple, very easy. And then getting that result in real time through the JSON output allows us to then update our systems on the front end for our customer facing systems and tell them the result of that audit. So in the past, where you may have batches of documents submitted, let's say it's after normal working hours on a Friday evening, and the weekend happens and no one's working on the weekend for that particular time, their documents may sit there for days without getting a result back on the audit. Whereas in this case, if we're getting our workforce engaged in this very simple way and the Textract solution up and running, if the documents is of a good enough quality, in this case where you're looking at a machine type document that was generated through our e-sign system, that can be auto-validated by Textract at a high level and actually be auto-validated within minutes of that submission being sent through to us for validation. So it really changes the level of service we can offer our consumers. And then even in the event that there is an exception, we're very quickly able to have our auditors rectify that case and then communicate back to our consumers the result of that validation so that they can take action to make a correction or they can move forward with their job. So it really does change how we operate our business, and the flexibility is there to continue to adjust and improve the system just to make it even better as time goes on. So the next piece that I'm going to talk through is if you're talking about having a rigorous audit and need to audit your documents and check on your workforce, your private workforce, we've also integrated this solution with our Active Directory so that we have an enterprise-wide single sign-on capability. So it's very good to see that this capability exists within the Amazon stack. So it's quite easy for you to implement a Cognito user pool or an Active Directory implementation where you can track the credentials of each worker in your work queues and then get stats on them, hold them accountable to their individual performance targets, and then see who was actually touching documents in the queue and when they were working. So it's a very good form of oversight and connectivity that we have. So it just ends up becoming an extension of our internal work processes, which is great to have that customization capability. So once the human validation step is complete, we then update our internal systems and our client-facing systems and notify them of the result. And again, this process in the past, if you think about a fully manual review of documents, as you scale and you don't have the number of auditors that you need to review the documents that you're getting, it becomes a very long process, and in some cases can impact your cost structure and your timing of getting results back to consumers. So having Textract, having recognition, having A2I all paired together really leads to massive efficiencies in both cost, service levels to customers, and just the flexibility to innovate on top of these services is endless. So we're very happy with it so far. It's made a huge difference, and working with the Amazon team has been wonderful. So thanks very much, and back to Anuj.
Thanks a lot, Mac, for sharing the use case on how DealNet Capital is using Amazon A2I. I'm glad to be a part of your use case and looking forward to working together on even more use cases. So here I will just end with the getting started resources. You can use any of these resources to do a demo or an internal POC with your organization or with your team. And please feel free to reach out to us via AWS forums or any other support mechanism that you're already using, and we are happy to help any way we can. Thanks a lot for taking our time, everyone, for watching this webinar.